But cats in particular, there are very strong views throughout New Zealand that time has come to regulate and control cats, which seems almost an impossibility if you own a cat. As I've explained to you on countless occasions, I was adopted by one, which is a perverse cat, it has to be said, on the basis that it knew I hated cats with a passion, even to the point where I'd armed myself with an air pistol to deal with the recurrent cats that were befouling my vegetable garden and back lawn. For some strange reason, when I was living in Wanganui, they might have been Hell's Angels cats, actually, now I think about it. But anyhow, for some strange reason, I was the only person in my neighbourhood who did not have a cat in a particular street that I was living in Wanganui at the time. And I don't know why, but every cat then decided that my back lawn and vegetable garden, which I was quite proud of really, was a communal toileting area. And there's just something about finding cat feces through your strawberries that gets you going just quietly. So it was odd actually, because I've moved now, as you know, to Central Otago, and this is dog country. I mean, every family's got a dog. And there's a reason why in Wanaka they have the highlight of the Wanaka AMP show is the Jack Russell race. And there's a reason for that, is that I would suggest to you that Jack Russells, as a dog breed, they are the dog of Central Otago and of the Queenstown Lakes area. I don't know why, they just are. Everybody's got one. Lovable, but to be perfectly honest with you, completely insane animals, but lovable. And they don't kill you and tend not to bite, and are very good family pets. So I imagine that's why families have adopted the Jack Russell as a breed down here in the south. I saw bugger all of them in the North Island. You can't move without every second home or household having a Jack Russell down south. Anyhow, but this street that I lived in was cats. It might have been because there were a lot of old ladies that lived and actually now that I think about it, there were them and the exclusive brethren. When I think about it, the street had almost exclusively exclusive brethren and old ladies. And for some strange reason, therefore, maybe, I don't know, but the cats were everywhere except at my residence. And which meant, essentially, as I said, that the cats adopted my residence as their mass toileting area. I'd like to say that I tried everything. It's not true. I didn't. I do remember I went to a garden shop and expressed this concern to them. And they said that there was something that I could put on my garden that scared cats away. To be honest with you, by the time I'd put it on my garden, it was some sort of fish compound. It smelled like I was, I don't know, in Naples at the height of summer when there was a rubbish strike on. It was just, it was repulsive. And I put it all around my garden with the vain hope that the cats, I was told by the garden people, would take one look and go, this is diabolical, and head back home and crap in their own gardens. But this only seemed to attract more of them for some strange reason. So in the end, I went to a gun shop. I know what you're going to say, but tough. I went to a gun shop and I said, I've got cats. And they said, do you want to kill them? I said, no. But I said, if I shoot them, I do want to make sure that they get a yelp and don't come back again. And besides, I said I'd rather enjoy it because I was in that sort of revengeful mood. Particularly after Theo, as a small child, would have been about 3, had stomped his way through cat poos and then decided to come inside and see Daddy. in my study and brought the cat's poos on his feet with him. So, yeah, it was the end. So off I go. And I purchased Ben an air pistol. Now, there were lethal air pistols there. In fact, there are lethal air pistols. You can shoot people to death with them. But this wasn't one of those. You got a little... have you ever had an air pistol at all, Ben? Ever seen one?
No, I haven't. No, they wouldn't tip up paintballs. I have.
Yeah, well, actually, that would have been just as effective. Actually, just when I think about it now. It's got a little gas canister, and you put the gas canister and then you put in a sort of a magazine as well. So I think it's got about a 10-shot magazine. Put that in there. It's got a gas canister, and then you just shoot it. And the reason I purchased it was because they must have seen me coming. It cost me quite a bit of money, actually. The chap said, in actual fact, parabolically, they're quite accurate. Because what he was saying is that, eventually it loses the force and it will drop. So he said within 20, 30 metres, you'll get a straight shot. So it doesn't lose much energy at all, but it won't kill the cat. And I went, all right, that sounds good to me. Give me one of these. Well, I waited because there was a particular ginger cat, Fluffy. It would not only crap in my garden, it would give me a look of disdain as it would hop back over the fence. I'd taken to throwing fruit at it, the apple, odd apple or orange or something like that, but my throw wasn't as accurate as, well, to be perfectly honest with you, an air pistol. So I was waiting for that cat, and it arrived, triumphal, tail up as they do, and headed for my garden, and particularly towards my beans, which I had growing in a sort of a trellis, not far off the ground. And I was quite proud of those. I was looking forward to them. And it headed for the beans, which was along with the strawberries, my favourite garden crop. Off it went, tail up. I simply had a sight on it from the moment that it hopped over that fence. And prior to it reaching these said beans, and this big cat's so bold that it sees me. And it even sees me with said pistol in my hand, and just, again, I'm going to crap all over you. Here I go. It was a typical female feline, One might argue, I've met girlfriends like this. I'm just going to crap all over you, and I'm going to show you that I'm going to crap all over you. That was the attitude it had. I pointed the pistol. I have to say I don't necessarily have a very steady hand. I can't profess to having beta blockers or anything like that and I'd been told by the man, you just squeeze, you don't pull, because then that pulls the thing. So you just squeeze and it'll automatically go back. So it was semi-automatic. The first shot missed it completely. I heard it rattle against the back of the fence. But I think the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth, one of them at least reached their target, because I watched a cat. I've never seen such acrobatic display. But once it was on the ground, and the next minute, it was about 8 foot in the air and already climbing its way, clawing its way through the air to escape over the same fence from which it had come. It just, as a feat of acrobatics, it was extraordinary. I went, no cat can go that high, and how can it walk in the air? Because it was moving at the same time. It was in the air. Never saw it again. Never saw that cat again. I think she put the word out. And really that was the end of it. So I always detested to that. So there you are. I hate cats with a passion. They are on my... Listen, if the world lived without cats, I think the world would be a better place. People go global warming, let's have no cars and trucks, let's have no farting or ruminant animals. I go, let's have no cats. All right, so I'm in that category. And as I said, this perverse creature about 5 years ago. Black, of course she was black, yellowed-eyed, insouciant, wandered into my home, killed my Jack Russell. It's a long story. And then just took up permanent residence. So there you go. So the idea of regulating cats is a good idea, because I watched this, and my cat's a killer. Well, I say it's my cat, it's not really. It's not mine, it doesn't belong to me. But it kills everything. And it kills for pleasure. It doesn't kill because it needs to be fed. It doesn't kill because I'm ridding the world of some vermin species. It kills just because it enjoys killing. Now, compare that with a dog. A dog, by contrast, loves you, is stupidly loyal, wants to please you, would never think of killing anything unless it represented some form of danger to you or the household, or it was hungry. As you know, dogs in Central Otago go and hunt rabbits, they tend to eat them. They don't go, I'll bring them home, drop them half alive, and just, wander off, which is what my cat does. But anyhow, there you go. We regulate dogs. Why aren't we regulating cats? Why isn't there a National Cat Act? Why can't we? And I know it sounds insane to think that you can suddenly, on what is an evil force of nature, impose some form of regulation and control, particularly upon their particular owners. But it seems, having said that, curiously overdue. And given that I am paying for dogs that don't cause any problem at all, don't attack anything, don't destroy wildlife, don't crap on other people's gardens, and don't start fighting at 3 o'clock in the morning outside my bedroom window, why is the dog singled out for particular council action and upset? That's all I'm going to ask. I think it's a worthy question. And I'm not usually on the side of environmentalists and conservationists, necessarily, although aren't we all environments and conservationists at heart, but gee, I am on cats. So that's all I'll say on that particular matter. I didn't mean to get upset about it, but I've suddenly realised that there was a deep part of me that has an animus towards the feline. And I wonder if it says something psychologically about me. I'm sure it does, but whatever. It's there.